What is going on, everyone? It's Nero again, here for you, some Battlefield 4, playing a little bit of BF4 here on the Xbox One, and I figured this was a great game mode to share for this week's episode of Dear Nero. So it's Domination, and it's a really close quarters, Battlefield's known for its giant maps and its vehicles. Domination is what I believe to be a newer game mode to the Battlefield series, where it's a lot like the Call of Duty Domination. It's a close quarters map. They take a giant map. We're playing on Rogue Transmission right now. They take a giant map. They kind of put 4 flags or sometimes 3 flags in this small area. People fight. It's a domination, no vehicles. It's very similar to Call of Duty in that, when depending on how many flags you have, you'll lose tickets. But at the same time, they give you 300 tickets as compared to 200 that you get in Call of Duty. And every time somebody dies, that counts as a ticket. So it's a pretty interesting twist on Domination. We're playing a little bit, like I said, here on Rogue Transmission. I'm running Medic. I'm running the Ace 23, which is a really cool gun. It looks a lot like an AK-47, but it's actually an updated version of the Galil. And if you guys played Black Ops 1, you guys know what the Galil is. So that's kind of a cool thing. It's a really good gameplay. I hope you guys all enjoy it. And I had an idea that maybe I should, sometime in the coming days or coming weeks, maybe make a Battlefield 4 for Dummies video, because Battlefield 4 is such a fun, enjoyable first-person shooter game, and I feel as though a lot of Call of Duty fans will actually like this game, but a lot of people just maybe don't understand how it's played or how it works. Maybe that's a thing, so let me know. Should I make the Battlefield 4 for Dummies video? I think that'd be a lot of fun. But this video is not about Battlefield 4. It's not about how awesome it runs on the Xbox One. It's not about the fact I'm running the Ace 23, which might be the most overpowered gun in the game. Maybe. I've heard people say it. It's about this week's episode of Dear Nero, which is a weekly series here on my channel where you guys send me in fan mail and or fan questions. And we're going to hop into the questions with the first one. He writes, Dear Nero, what is your dream car? Money is not an issue, just a car of your dreams. Corey from West Virginia, and stay classy, Neroland. I like that. I like Neroland. So the car of my dreams, I'm not a car person. There's people out there, like my grandfather. He runs a machine shop, and he's in his 70s. And he still runs and works at his machine shop. He loves classic cars. He's part of Dodge Brothers. He loves vehicles. We were watching The Christmas Story 2, which if you guys have seen, I'm sure you've seen Christmas Story 1, because it runs on a 24-hour loop on Christmas Day. They made a sequel to it. And it's still set like back in the 40s. And my grandpa were watching this movie, and he could sit there and name every make and every model of every car in that movie. He's a car guy. He loves cars. And being a car guy, like my entire life, for like Christmas, for my birthdays and stuff, he used to give us like model cars, like not like toy cars, like what are the Hot Wheels or anything like that, but really nice model cars that like you should probably not even take out of the package because they'll be worth money someday. But we always took them out of the package because they were cool. And the car, that he got me was a 1957 Chevrolet Corvette. If you guys want to Google what that looks like, it's a really snazzy old car. I like the way it looks a lot, and that was my favorite model car that my grandpa ever got me. And so, me being not much of a car person, I would say that my dream car would be that thing. That thing's freaking sweet looking. Just Google 1957 Chevrolet Corvette. It's a really cool looking car. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I have been a subscriber to you for about 2 years now, but I've recently been active on your channel. The reason is because I got kind of bored of Call of Duty, but now I'm back. And I know that you like sports, and I like sports. So my question is, what are your thoughts on the Browns firing their head coach after 1 year? I think it's kind of early, and it wasn't his fault that the quarterbacks got hurt and stuff. And I think it was good getting rid of Trent Richardson. He is terrible. But I'm a Buccaneers fan, so I can't really talk shit, if you know what I mean. Love David from Florida. So I like sports questions. So yes, at first I was like, no, how can you get rid of Trent Richardson? How could you do that? No, Trent, he's like the future of this freaking team, and you're just going to trade him away after 1 year? Why would you do this? And then Trent Richardson went to Indianapolis, and if you're a football fan, you know exactly how bad he is playing in Indianapolis. So it's kind of a good thing we got a first-round draft pick for Trent Richardson, because Trent Richardson probably won't even be starting another game in his career. So the Browns, they did get rid of their head coach. They fired him after 1 season. And the reason for that is a new owner, new management came in, and that was the same coach, the same quarterback, the same running back, the same system under the old coach and the old owner and the old management. Okay, so it was kind of known that there was going to be a head coaching change after the first year in Cleveland. A lot of people actually knew that was going to come if you're a Browns fan. You also knew that Brandon Wheaton is not going to be the quarterback of the future. You know that Jason Campbell, as old as he is not the quarterback of the future. This new owner, Jimmy Haslam, He's going to be coming in. He's bringing in his own guys. He's going to get the coach that he wants. They're going to draft the quarterback that they believe can lead the Browns for years to come. And it happens in sports all the time. Sports is half politics, okay? And when a new owner comes in, what he envisions for the team is not necessarily what the old owner envisioned for the team. Therefore, he's like, okay, well, we'll let this coach run out for this season because he's already here. This is the coach that was handed to me. Well, I'm run for a season. If that doesn't work out, he's not the coach of our dreams. We're going to go get the coach that I do want, and that's what they did. And they have 2 first-round draft picks this year. They picked 4th overall. My hope of hopes is they take old Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, because I'm a Texas A&M fan, and so I think it'd be cool if they brought him in there. You combine him and maybe a new running back you also take in the first round, or maybe get Teddy Bridgewater. Do something, because the Browns have a top 10 defense. They have the number 1 receiver in the league this year in Josh Gordon. They have the number 3 tight end in Jordan Cameron. They have the anchor, Joe Thomas, the left tackle. All the pieces are there. They just need a decent quarterback, a decent running back, and a coach that doesn't get fired after 1 season. So that's what the Browns need. I'm excited for. I'm excited for the Browns next season. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, have you ever been snowmobiling even though you live in Pennsylvania? Trevor from Illinois. So Trevor, you say even though I live in Pennsylvania, snowmobiling is a big thing in Pennsylvania, but I've never personally been. My uncle in his backyard actually has like 10 snowmobiles back there. I'm not sure how many of them work, but they used to go snowmobiling all the time, but I never just went. The closest thing I've ever been to snowmobiling was my dad, because they were a snowmobile family, whereas my family, we were a 4-wheeler family, or some people might call them ATVs. We call them 4-wheelers. We're a 4-wheeler family. And so now and again, my dad would take the wheeler out, and we would tie a sled and a rope, and he'd, not very fast, but we'd be driving through fields and stuff, and my brother be back there on sleds while he's driving the wheeler around. So he's kind of pulling us on our sled, and it was kind of a cool thing. That's what we did, but no, I've never actually been snowmobiling, but I do ride, wheelers a lot. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what is your favorite gun and map in Call of Duty Ghost? Stay awesome, Timmy from Indiana. So Timmy, it's a tricky question because I can't pick a definite favorite gun or a definite favorite map, but I've narrowed it down to 2 guns and 2 maps. So my 2 favorite guns are the Honey Badger and the MTAR X. Those are the 2 guns I enjoy the most. The 2 maps I enjoy the most will be Whiteout and Warhawk. Those are my 2 favorite maps because those are 2 maps I can never seem to do bad on. Those are just maps I always seem to do consistently well on. Therefore, I like them. And the MTAR X is my favorite SMG. Honey Badger is my favorite assault rifle, and I made videos about my best assault rifle, best SMG class setup. So I like both those guns pretty much equally, depending on if it's a submachine gun map or if it's an assault rifle map, or if I want to run around with an assault rifle in this game, or if I want to run around with an SMG in this game. It's completely dependent upon what I want to do that game, and those are my 2 favorite guns. Those are my go-to guns so far here in Ghost. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, how did you start playing Call of Duty, and which ones have you enjoyed the most in its life cycle? Sub to you for about a year now, but I've never actually sent you a question for Dear Nero. Keep up the great work. David, better known as... That's my last name, from Costa Rica. Okay, so David from Costa Rica. Okay, when did I start playing Call of Duty? I don't know how many people know this story. A lot of people know I started in 2007 with Call of Duty 4, but my initial story with Call of Duty, first time I got me into this series, I went to my cousin's house, the same cousin whose family owned all of those snowmobiles. I went to his house one day, and I was a PlayStation 2 man at the time, and he had got an Xbox 360. And I went over there, and he was playing Call of Duty 3, which was a multiplayer game, which was nuts to me because I didn't even have the internet at that time. He was playing Call of Duty 3 multiplayer online. I'm like, wow! It's a war game that you can play against other people and such, because at the time, I had a PlayStation 2 with no internet, and I was playing Medal of Honor European Assault. That was the game I would play, and sometimes Rising Sun, or the Medal of Honor games, right? Those are the games I played on PlayStation 2. I'm like, wait, so this is a war game that you can play online against other people and with other people. That's the freaking greatest thing in the world. And me, I was probably in the 7th or 8th grade at the time. I'm like, Mom, I want an Xbox 360 for Christmas so I can play Call of Duty. And at that time, Call of Duty 4 came out. And that's what I got, and that's when I started playing. And what was the other question here? Let me go back and read how you start playing COD. And which Call of Duty have I enjoyed most during its life cycle? I think Black Ops 1. And here's why. Black Ops 1, I love the Treyarch games. I love how they have zombies. I prefer Treyarch over Infinity Ward. I've talked about that many times. And one of the things I really like about it is one, the era. I love the whole Cold War and Vietnam era and the feel and the period and the guns and the kill streaks of the game. I also love the implementation of the combat record. I think I played a lot more Black Ops 1 than I would have because of the combat record. It was fun seeing how many kills I got with grenades. It was fun, getting crappy guns. Like I was on a mission for a while to get every gun in the game up to 1,000 kills and be able to show it off my combat record. It was awesome for the first time, like really trying to win every match I could play, just because I wanted to have that show up when people check my combat record. To this day I still have like a 4.5 win loss ratio or in like a 2 something KD in Black Ops 1. I liked it that people could see my stats. I liked it that people could see my top weapons. I loved the combat record. I really did. And still to this day, I still want to go back because the FAMAS is notorious for being known as the most OP gun in Black Ops. And it's my top weapon. It's everybody's top weapon for the most part. I mean, of course, there's exceptions, but there's a lot of people that have the FAMAS as their top weapon. And the AK-47 is like 1,000 kills behind it right now. And I almost just want to go back to Black Ops 1 and just get those 1,000 AK-47 kills, so when people look at my combat record, that they will see that the AK is my top weapon and not the FAMAS. I haven't used the freaking FAMAS in like 2 years, and I'm still trying to catch up to it because, I had like 12,000 FAMAS kills and then like 8,000 AK-47 kills, and now I'm like trying to catch up to it. And I like the combat record. I like Black Ops 1, and that's probably the game I enjoyed the most during its life cycle. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what would you rank each Call of Duty game going from worst game to best game? Many thanks to you, and thank you for the content that you bring out. Lemon Dunk from the United Kingdom. So the question is, rank Call of Duties going from worst to best. Not best to worst, so we're going to start off with the ones I believe are the worst ones, going into the best ones. Not to say that any one of them is, a horrible game, but I'm going to try and give my reasons for the order in which I put these games in. So going from worst to best, I'm going to go Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Ghost, Black Ops 2, World at War, COD 4, Black Ops 1. Okay, so right now, Call of Duty Ghost is on the bottom half of that. And the reason for that is, it's a new game. What's the longevity with Call of Duty Ghost? We don't know. Am I going to be tired of this game in 6 months? We don't know. Modern Warfare 2 is right down there because while it was a great game, Modern Warfare 2 was the best game that never was. The game was so modded and so infected, and people that don't remember that didn't play the game in its prime. They didn't. They did not play the game when it initially came out. They did not play it for the first few months when it came out. There were care package glitches. 2 care package glitches where people could have infinite care packages. That was a thing. Every match was unlimited care packages everywhere you went. There was, wall hacks. It sounds horrible because it sounds like such a newbie thing to say or whatever, but there's wall hacks and there were aimbots. Those were actual things. I had some because I used to join these mod lobbies to get them. Those were a thing. There was infinite domination matches. Like you would search and destroy, right? You just want to go play some search and destroy, and you search for it, and it'll throw you into an infinite domination match on Rust, where the game will be seriously like 5 hours in, and the only way for that game to end is someone to get a nuke. There was unlimited ammo glitches. There was glitches galore in Modern Warfare 2. It was a great game when there weren't glitches, but there were always glitches, and to this day, there's still one-man army danger close in that combination. That's still a thing. In Modern Warfare 3, I did not enjoy the game at all because one of the things I did is every game I tried to get a Moab, and that made the game not fun for me. It made it so frustrating, and it just wasn't fun. That and the spawn system was awful. So Modern Warfare 3 is the worst Call of Duty in my opinion. Black Ops 2 was good. It was a great game, but it's not as good as World at War in my opinion because I like World War II stuff. I love the feel of World War II. I like the maps and the guns. Call of Duty 4 was fantastic for me. I love that game even slightly more so than World at War, I guess, because I put way more playtime into it. And I've already said, Black Ops 1 is probably my favorite Call of Duties. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, will you ever start another Minecraft series on Nero's Let's Plays? Tyler from Florida. Well, Tyler, maybe sometime in the future. The trick of it is, I used to do a hardcore survival series on Nero's Let's Plays. And you guys don't know, Nero's Let's Plays is my Let's Play channel. Right now we're playing through a bunch of DayZ and stuff, myself and my buddy Toucan. And Toucan is actually the person that I actually played these hardcore survival series with in Minecraft. And we did it on the Xbox 360. Well, now we both play Minecraft on the PC, and it's kind of tricky because, you know, we could either set up a server for us to play in, which will cost a little bit of money, for us to be able to play, these hardcore survival series, or we have to find someone else's server and join it and, you know, do hardcore survival that way. But it's tricky because in my mind, hardcore survival involves, you know, hardcore difficulty, and if you die, you're done. But there's other servers out there, like woodycraft.net is the server we used to play on a ton. And if you try and play hardcore survival on there, the only way to regen health is to make a potion. And that makes it really difficult. So difficult so that I don't even want to play that way. It's tricky to get set up, but there probably will be another Minecraft series on yours Let's Plays in the future. So thank you for asking. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I love your videos. I don't know if you've ever covered on this before, but what are your opinions on the tracker site in Call of Duty Ghost? Do you think that is overpowered? I really don't care whether this goes up on Dear Nero or not. I would just like an answer to this question. That would be great. Christian from Washington. So what do I think about the tracker site? So the reason the tracker site kind of got like scrutinized a little bit is because it's kind of similar to the target finder in a way. A lot of people thought the tracker site was overpowered because everyone hated the target finder. And I'll say this on the target finder from Black Ops 2. I never thought the attachment itself was overpowered. Never thought that. No, it was fine. It was just a site, right? But what happened was when, for whatever reason, when everyone would use the target finder, they would camp with it really hard, like in the back of the map doing nothing. Like they would sit back, you know, behind cover and just poke their head up with their target finder. And that's just how people play. The attachment doesn't help them in any way, but for whatever reason, when they do decide to equip the target finder, they would camp with it. That's what I hated about the target finder, was the way people played with it, not the fact that they were using it. It's the way they were playing with it. I mean, they could have done that with a silencer, a red dot, freaking anything. They just, when people play like that, it's annoying when they hide in the back of the map and don't do anything. So that's the reason I hate the target finder, because for whatever reason, you know, it seems like people did that more when they had the target finder. What I think about the tracker site, I don't think it's overpowered at all. In fact, it blocks off a lot of my vision. I don't like it. Like, I don't even recommend that site. It's hard to use, in my opinion. Other people say it's overpowered. I don't see how. I can't see out of the damn thing. It takes away all my vision. I don't like it. So tracker site is not a great attachment in my book. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I am in grade 8 and I will be entering high school next year, and I've realized that you've probably answered this question in the past, but I would like to hear a reply from you from my personal question. What was it like when you first entered high school, and how did you feel on the first day? P.S. This doesn't have to be mentioned on Dear Nero, but a reply would be greatly appreciated. Devin from, oh good lord, Devin from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario? I know the Ontario, and I know the St. Mary part, but the one is S-A-U-L-T, Sault Ste. Mary? I don't know. Okay, so you're from Ontario. Devin from Ontario. What was my first day of high school like? How did I feel, and how's it like? So the first day of high school is something that a lot of people are worried about, and some of you guys may be watching this video like, oh man, first day of high school, that's going to be coming up. It's not bad. It's not as bad as you think it is. People act like high school is like this horrible place, and like, you know, it really isn't. It really isn't. My first day of high school I still had the same anxieties that I had, you know, going in 8th grade, going to 7th grade, or 6th grade, or 5th grade, or 4th grade, or anything. You know, the same anxieties. The anxieties are, what classes are you going to be, like, what classes are you going to have with your friends, and who are you going to sit with at lunch? That's all I freaking worried about. You know, because that's always the worst thing. Is like, you get your lunch, you know, you're at lunch. Where are your friends? Who are you going to sit with? You don't want to stand there and look like an idiot. You don't want to, you know, be sitting by yourself either. You're hoping that you have lunch with some of your friends. At least that was the thing I had. That was the only anxiety I ever had going to school. Other than that, you know, at least in my high school, you can go in, you know, like a couple weeks before school even opens, and you can walk around, you can find your locker, you can open it, you know, get your combination ready. Figure that whole thing out. You can walk around your classes and see where they're at, kind of like develop a little strategy in your head. Okay, so first period, I'm going to go here. Second period, I have time to go to my locker and still make it there the second period. You know, it's not hard. It really isn't hard at all. And high school is really easy, and I'll say anything to anyone going into high school for the first time. Relax. It's really no different. In fact, it's actually a lot cooler. It's, because you actually get a little bit of freedom between classes to go do stuff and such. So I don't know about this. I see it in like TVs and movies and stuff, but apparently like in like certain schools they actually let you go off campus for lunch. Do people do that? Is that still a thing? Because I see it in like movies and such, but I don't know if that's true. And it's mostly like California stuff is where like the movies are based. In Pennsylvania, we're not allowed going out like off campus for lunch or anything like that. Just a question for you guys to answer in the comments. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I am Denny from Albania. You say you earn money from live streaming on YouTube, so why don't you do it more often? And have you ever played DayZ? If you haven't, do you plan on playing it or ever upload it or stream it? Please keep up the great videos and have a wonderful day. I love when people do that. So Denny, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's D-E-N-I. That says Denny to me. I have said about live streaming. He's referencing, I talked about live streaming maybe a week or so ago, where I live stream on Twitch and I'm not partnered there, so I don't make anything. But if I were to live stream on YouTube, I would still earn the same revenue I make for my videos. The reason I don't stream on YouTube is a couple reasons. One, you don't get paid any better for it. I still get paid the same as if it were a normal video. Two, it's buggy. It's really hard to set up on YouTube. Three, the comment section is delayed by like 3 minutes, right? So I'll say something, I'll ask a question like, hey guys, what game should I play? And I'll have to literally wait 3 minutes for people's replies to show up in the chat because that's how delayed the YouTube streams are. YouTube is just not good for live streaming, and you don't make any extra money off it. So it's like, no, I'm just going to go to Twitch. I don't care if I'm not partnered on Twitch. If I want to live stream, I want to have a good time, I want to engage with subs, I want to play some games, and that's why I do it on Twitch, even though I'm not partnered. And as for DayZ, you call yourself a fan there, Denny from Albania, but yet you don't know that I've posted nearly 40 DayZ videos on Nero's Let's Plays. Take the time, anyone watching this video, take the time to just click a button, it's in the description for crying out loud, and subscribe to my other channel. I have a whole other channel with almost 500 videos, Nero's Let's Plays. Tons of Pokemon playthroughs on there. We've also done Let's Plays of other games, some of GTA 5, some of Far Cry 3, a bunch of Minecraft Hardcore Survival with my friend Nick, as well as some DayZ with my friend Nick. Lots of stuff on Nero's Let's Plays. Go subscribe. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, the second after I finished watching your last Dear Nero, I checked the comments and found the comment of you saying that you don't have the best upload speeds and you actually had to downgrade the quality of the video or else the video would have to go up at like midnight and so forth. So my question to you is, how long do you estimate in minutes does it take for you to upload a 10-minute 720p video to YouTube? Because for me, it's a little bit over an hour. Levithan. So if you guys know, this is Levithan. He was on a semi-recent, a couple weeks ago, episode of Chemstrike Saturday, the series where subscribers send in Chemstrikes. And he's asking about my upload speeds. I'm going to talk about some internet stuff, some YouTube stuff. So it's tricky. There's no clear answer as to how long it will take me to upload a 720p video. Okay, so a 720p video, while that's kind of gives you a parameter of how big the file size is going to be, the size of your file really is dependent on the bit rate at which you render at. If you guys don't know the bit rate, okay, so my DayZ videos, right? I usually render them at like a 10 bit rate. Because, the game itself is an alpha, it doesn't need to look spectacular. I render it at a 10 million bit rate, okay? Whereas when I do a montage, where I want that to be the most pristine gameplay possible, I upload it at a 25 million bit rate, which takes a lot longer to render and a lot longer to upload. Sometimes like an episode of Dear Nero like this, I might render it out at a 10 bit rate, because it's a really long video, or 10 million bit rate, because it's a really long video. And if I were to make it the quality even higher, it would take for freaking ever and a half to render and upload. But sometimes if it's like a 10-minute video, I'll usually render it at probably a 15 million bit rate. So it's a really good quality. And that will take me probably 20 minutes to render, 15-20 minutes to render out that 10-minute video. And it'll probably take about an hour, hour and a half to upload that video. Next and final question, he's going to write, Dear Nero, I was wondering what Call of Duty do you feel has the best search and destroy, and what is the game and map that was best for search and destroy? So, Call of Duty 4. World of War was good, but Call of Duty 4 had the best search and destroy. The maps were perfect for Search and Destroy. The way that the grenades functioned in that game, the maps, if you want to do well in Search against good players, you had to play Search and Destroy in Call of Duty 4 like it was a science. Okay? There were pre-nades everywhere. Like on the map Backlot, which I believe Backlot Search and Destroy is my favorite Search and Destroy map. Oh man, whether you're on offense, whether you're on defense, there are certain spots where you just have to avoid off the initial rush because people can bomb them. They will bomb them. There are so many lines of sight in Call of Duty 4 has the best Search and Destroy. And what I feel is the best map for Search and Destroy, I'm going to say it's Backlot. Although every map in that game is essentially amazing for Search and Destroy. They had a whole thing on PC called ProMod, which was like competitive Search and Destroy. They stripped it down so there were no perks, no attachments, and you can only use certain guns. Like for assault rifles, I believe you could use the M4, the M16, and the AK-47. For SMGs, I believe that you could use the 74U and the MP5 and the Uzi. You can only have one sniper on your team. And basically, it was like so competitive because the maps are literally a science in Search and Destroy. It was great. Anyone who's played Call of Duty 4 Search and Destroy, fantastic stuff. And it's a shame that if you didn't play Call of Duty 4 Search and Destroy, that you can't just go back and play it because it's modded. Yay! And if you go on PC, which is funny, every Search and Destroy lobby on COD 4 and World at War on the PC, you'll look at the server name, it's called XP Lobby. What happens is people go in there and just boost, because you get, of course, more points to Search and Destroy for a kill than you would like a team deathmatch or a domination. So people just go in there and boost. And I'm like, everyone's boosting in here. So I start killing people and they kick me from the server. I'm like, this is freaking stupid. Can't even play Search and Destroy on console, can't play it on PC, can't just play it. So it stinks. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. If you did, please remember to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And be sure to send in your guys' questions for next week's Dear Nero. All you gotta do is send me a personal message here on YouTube, make the title of the message Dear Nero. And next week, probably on Wednesday or Tuesday night, I will go through all the questions, take the ones I think they're good, and ones that I think will be entertaining questions, and especially questions I've not yet answered before, and I'll put them all in a text document, then I read them off, and I answer them for next week's episode of Dear Nero. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a rating, and let me know in the comments, guys. I don't think I pointed out this earlier. If you guys had to rate Call of Duty, from worst to best, or maybe, best to worst, your top 7 Call of Duties or so, what would you list them as? Be sure to put that in the comments. That'd be interesting to read. And if you guys would definitely like me to make a Battlefield 4 for Dummies video, let me know about that. I think that would be pretty fun. So I hope you guys will enjoy the video. Be sure to rate it. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
I was banging 7 grand rocks, that's how I roll. I got one gear, go. Are you bipolar?